Are you a Forex trader? Are you interested in how the professions are trading? Are you interested in trade plans with entries, targets, stop losses, and risks for next week? I'm going to go through my trading plans on dollar pairs, gold, and US oil. So let's go. Trading Forex is risky, so what I'm going to go through in this video is only for educational purposes and maybe also entertainment purposes. Australian dollar, US dollar, I'm thinking, well, if price ever comes up to 77.50, I would be really willing and able to short it down. I will then say, hey, if I get a second opportunity, I might sell at 71.80. And the best part or worst part is if it just falls, I don't really bother me, because then I would take profit for this week at 76.26. That is my target. And then where do I put my stop loss? My stop loss is up here. And what is the risk for this week? Well, basically, we haven't made a new higher high yet. We haven't made a lower low yet. So on Australian dollar, we are in a range, and that is really a risk to my trading plan. For Euro USD, we have seen buyers coming in, we have seen sellers coming in, we have seen buyers coming in again, and now what do we do? The question is this a sell point? Yes, it is. And what is this? A buy point. So I would say on Euro USD at the moment, we are in between buyers and sellers. It's not really straightforward. Let's see what happens. So I would love for this one to fall down. So what do I expect for next week? I expect this one to fall. So that is my entry. I would then wait for a new lower low. I would then went for a pullback, and I will expect it not to make a higher high. If it makes a higher high, I am definitely out. And I would expect price to come down to 24.20 and a half. And the ultimate goal is 120, or even better, 119. Where do I put my stop loss? I would put my stop loss above 121, 122.2 maybe, somewhere up here of this high here. What does that mean for me? That means for me that if price goes up here, I will fold my trade together. I will wait for market to decide, are we actually going to go up? I'm still playing this downtrend because we are making a new low, making a new lower high, making a lower high. So far, technically, it is all matching up to go lower. For pound dollar, we are seeing the same thing that we expect in euro. We're expecting price to maximally come up to 37.10 before falling, making a new low. That engaged the buyers, and I don't want to see a higher high after that. So I would plan then to sell again at 36.50 and then take it down to 35. That is my plan for this week. My stop loss would be above these highs, and sure enough, the big boys also knows that, so I would take it a bit higher, up at 37.76. The risks to this trade is there is still upward momentum to this trade, and I am basically counter trending it, but I also know that I'm counter trending it. So I'm not very aggressive, I don't risk a lot of money, but I'm waiting for this one to show me that this is actually going to fall. So until then, let's see. Gold has been nothing else than disappointing. I want this gold thing to rise, but it has done nothing else than just going range bound and falling. So for next week, I want to see a higher high, but I don't think that is going to be the follow through. I think that until we actually have a clear rise and a clear with no pullback, we're actually going to see the continuation of the trend. And I am also this week being on the sideline, and if you really want a trade for next week, you probably might want to sell it. But I'm not going to sell it, but that's maybe the best opportunity for next week. And you would look down to maybe 1800, or even 1750 for next week. I am not going to take it. For New Zealand dollar, as much as we have on Australian dollar, we want this one to fall. This was the first attempt, this was the second attempt, and now we have, I would say, a rally up here, but we haven't made a higher high. All right, so that makes me very hopeful for next week. I want this to fall, and I want this to go all the way down to 70.70. I would presumably sell firstly here, and then I would sell at 72. I would then wait for new lower low or hope for new lower low, and I will sell the pullback up at 71.65, and then I will take profit at 70.70. For USD CAD, we had a very interesting Canadian interest rate meeting this week, where we saw the sharp fall in CAD, the sharp rise in CAD, but as you can see, we're actually higher than that price at the moment. So what is actually going on? Well, it is not supposed to be falling at this moment. Dollar is supposed to be strong in this very moment, but we're still in a range that I am not planning to play cat and mouse in. So for next week, I'm expecting to USD CAD to maybe come down to 26.60. If it comes, that would be the perfect price to start buying again, make a new higher high, pull back to 27 again, and then rise all the way up to 28. All of these pairs can go without any pullbacks at all. But you know, every market open, every hourly candle, every 4-hour candle, there is a pullback. Trade the pullback instead of trying to catch the higher high. For all these pairs, we have pullbacks on the hourly, on the 4-hourly, on the daily. Trade those pullbacks instead of trying to catch the higher high. The last but not least, the US oil. What are we expecting for next week? We're actually expecting this one to fall. The pullback now on Friday was thumbs up, and we're looking to short it down to 50-50. Minimally. The only question is, for all of this, where do we end this next week? Is it high or is it low? That is going to determine how we'll trade for February. So I'm not going to give you out any clues of what I will do now, because I definitely don't know how this will play out. And for me to make the best decisions, I would then need to see, where are we? Do we then start going into the monthly and say, all right, are we going into a buy price or are we going into a sell price? As you can see here, price for the next month is down in the 50 area. So wouldn't that be a great place to send the price so you can take it up in February? Very, very interesting. So I'm not going to be aggressive for this week. I am going to trade my trade plans, but I'm not going to be aggressive, because I know that February is going to make even better trades than this last week of January. I would say this last week of January now is like some mediocre trading. You might get some profits, you might be stopped out, you never know. One last surprise for you today is USD Yen. What would you do right now, Ivan, as we're going into this next week? Let me show you. I would say this is a high, this is a low, and this price is the price to buy, because it comes from the role reversal. This price now fell into the buy zone for next week. I'm wondering how this is gonna go. I would say this one should turn higher. I don't know if it will, but it might do that. I'm only doing USD Yen because you request me to do it. I hope that you, for the next week, are not taking too much risk, not more than 1%. You have fun, you trade your trade plans, you use these trade plans that I have shown to you today. But really, what I'm telling you, February is going to be a much better month than January. So that's what I'm really hoping for. So until next time, don't risk money you can't afford to lose, and stay a winner. Boom.